Hello everyone, welcome to another video reaction. Today we're checking out the Paradox Pokemon Battle Royale Expedition. So I reacted to this a couple of days ago, and people seem to really enjoy the video. And the people, somebody in the comment section said that you should check out the explanation video. So here I am. So let's go check out what it's all about. The link to the description down below. If you want to catch me live, check me out on TTV/Bearable, into Bearable. And yeah, let's get into this.
Is already gone, lost, and the future doesn't exist.
Ooh.
All we can truly do is embrace the gift that is now. That is why it is called the present. That's what I'd say if I wanted to sound profound. But hey, if we got all of the Paradox Pokemon into one enclosed space, say Blueberry Academy, and then had them fight Battle Royale style, who would last the longest? Who would be the most likely to win? And why? Well, I helped write a Paradox Pokemon Battle Royale over on the...
So this is like a kind of like a Game Freestyle video. Okay. I like it. Very like game theory style. I quite like it actually.
Terminal Montage channel, and in this video I'm going to explain some of what happened in said battle and then explain why the winners are who they are. So kick back, grab a snack, and watch it again.
Okay.
I love this SpongeBob transition. So remember, while Area 0 is the center of Paradox and Terrestrialization shenanigans, the core up in Blueberry Academy is made of the same crystal dirt stuff from there. That's still terrestrialized there. We took a creative liberty and had the...
I want to be honest, when I played the game, I always thought there was a Pokemon in the DLC legend was in that crystal thing. I thought there was a Pokemon inside that. So I thought it was going to be like a big reveal that was going to break and a freaking Pokemon was going to come out of it. And it never did. So I was a little disappointed, I'm going to lie. I always thought there was going to be a Pokemon come out of that thing. I'm like, straight up.
The machine malfunctioned so bad, it sends the caught Paradox Pokemon here, all in Master Balls because that's what they're all in. So this future Paradox
good game reference.
Types of robots, droids, androids, cyborgs, xenobots, autonomous vehicles, etc.
I got mad.
In our video explaining all of them.
Future Paradox Donphan is super mad. I love Iron Moth.
Iron Moth is able to shoot its feet forward.
I love Iron Moth actually.
It's tiny. Iron Bundle, who honestly is already pretty comic reliefy thanks to its whole concept, mannerisms, and animations, is a Star Wars battle droid. Iron Shreds is an old Windows PC and a Roomba. Well, maybe that vacuum Teletubbies. Iron Jugulus is seen hiding in a cave and looking out, making it appear as a silhouette, and thus with its two puppet-looking hands, references the Mystery Science Theater 3000 trio.
That's kind of a cool reference.
Cambrian era fight they are seeing, as Swittermane and Roaring Moon are both past Paradox Pokemon from millions upon millions of years ago. But now here comes Iron Thorns, who's just a Mecha Kaiju, a Mecha Godzilla, a Mecha Jaguar. Jugulus insults Thorns, so Thorns destroys Jugulus, but not before Jugulus launches its puppety handheads at Thorns' face, which it is known to do.
Oh, okay.
Koraidon and Great Tusk land with a large thud, and Koraidon lets out a dinosaur roar. You'll notice in this fight, none of the past paradoxes speak while the futures do plenty. Caveman didn't speak the same way that
I love that meme. I love that fucking meme.
And is the battle's first fatality. The competitive and aggressive Koraidon saw his stupid face as an easy target. It explodes into poisonous spores and toxic powder. Not the smartest move, Koraidon. It essentially just hurt itself, which is pretty...
I mean, Brutal Bonner was actually a really decent Pokemon in the game.
Maybe. Someone had to be it. So the second slowest Paradox Pokemon that's also very rarely used in the meta and has very few type or lore advantages over the other Paradoxes. Yeah. Raging Bolt pops out of the water as that's where it likes to hang. And when Sandy Shock skips out, they don't...
Sandy Shock...
They have a sparky electric type connection, and Sandy Shocks happily hops into the water with Raging Bolt, not realizing how deep it is. Bolt's neck is long. The two Volcarona paradoxes are fighting. The fighting type Slitherwing is particularly combative, while Iron Moth, the extraterrestrial observational satellite, tries to avoid combat all it can. Its tiny body, less than a third the size of Slitherwing, makes dodging Slitherwing's punches and kicks easy, and it can shoot back from afar. Eventually, Slitherwing uses its wings to
Slitherwing was very good. I fucked with Slitherwing. Slitherwing was such a good paradox.
And allowing Slither to get a good kick in, sending Moth straight
Damn.
into the terrarium's glass dome.
Big oof.
So Roaring Moon and Fluttermane are fighting. Roaring Moon is
I love Fluttermane.
extremely aggressive and violent, being a
Damn.
ancient mega salamence, while Fluttermane is a small and tricky ghost, vanishing to avoid Moon's attacks. Soon, Fluttermane fades away completely and hides behind Iron Thorns, whose
I love the art design on Fluttermane. It is so good. I freaking love it a lot. That's such a cool design. I'm so glad Fluttermane won because, like, I mean, let's be honest, Fluttermane is probably in my opinion, one of the best Paradox Pokemon in the game. Like competitive and also like this casual. It's such a good Pokemon to have, and the shiny is actually kind of worth it.
currently
as well.
The remains of Jugulus, causing Moon to attack and destroy Thorns to get to Fluttermane. But Thorns' ripped out thorns explode
Damn.
in Moon's hands. Bonus fun fact, some militaries are already in research and development for military robots that feed on other robots and corpses to recharge and repair themselves on the field. The
Oh,
future
cool.
is fun.
That's a terrifying thing to know.
Documentary format, right? So
That's the fun. I need a thumbnail. Oh no, I fucked up. Alright, that's the thumbnail. Where is snip? Yeah, that's the thumbnail. That's the thumbnail.
lines after the first one are all from Prehistoric Planet initially.
The actual voice in the battle is me, doing my best impression and putting the recording through a plethora of filters.
Just a head
that's kind of cool.
There are some suggestions that Iron Leaves is the steed of Iron Valiant, though not a very good one. Compared to the other future paradoxes, they both move very animatronically stiff. But based on the Violet book and Pokédex, Iron Valiant is a cruel robot built by a mad scientist who cuts down others without hesitation. So we made it observe its surroundings like a Terminator. Which is doubly fitting as it's chasing Screamtail down and thus referencing this older meme.
Damn, I thought that was a reference.
Defend itself, but it can scream Agretsuko style.
I love that.
It's a puffy Majin Buu. This causes Iron Valiant to go haywire and eventually be defeated. The sound waves make the terrarium glass crack even more. But Iron Hands is fun, right?
I'm gonna be honest. I thought Iron Hands was going to be a lot up there because Iron Hands was like a lot of people use Iron Hands. Like in every rate of it, I see Iron Hands a lot. So I'm so surprised Iron Hands wasn't in the final 4 of the Royale. To be honest, I was actually genuinely surprised about that.
Hands, it tries to use those hands to stop Great Tusk from charging at it, but in being electric hands and Tusk being ground type, Tusk doesn't care. Iron Hands flees and passes through several walls, which it's prone to do apparently. But Tusk is quite weak to ice attacks, so it freezes solid when hit by Iron Bundle's blaster. Cue a caveman YouTube poop, I hope you understand.
I just remembered we're in there and that we're out here.
And more mouthing off. Just off screen, Slitherwing approaches, seeing Great Tusk as a fun next opponent. So Great Tusk begins to thaw out. While not fire type itself, Slitherwing is a paradox form of a particularly hot fire type, Corona. and Slitherwing can learn many fire-type moves. It's even so hot that it can burn others and damage itself in the process. It can barely manage its own body heat. But before they can really fight, both get turned into roadkill by the bikers. Coraidon and Miraidon
have been racing. Sandy Shocks has long, ridiculous, stretchy legs, which it uses to finally escape from the water.
I don't know. Sandy Shock is such a terrible, so terrible. He's a terrible Paradox Pokemon. I think his design is so bad.
From the Terrarium Dome, as well as the Violet Paradox Pokemon. Only those fast enough.
Oh no.
Or heavy enough, like Iron Boulder. Iron Leaves activates its lightsaber leaf blades and destroys Sandy Shock.
Damn.
Initiating rolling sound effects.
That's so good. Grr.
Being part fighting type has no chance against the psychic type Iron Swords trio, so flees and runs into the proto-legendary beasts and holds out its hands like that one Jurassic World scene, but it lacks a third hand.
Damn.
The Helldiver's automaton march is heard emanating from the Iron Swords, essentially being the opposite of the original Swords of Justice, which stand for liberty and justice for all, democracy, Americana stuff, makes this very fitting as they kind of stand opposed to all that. Now this for sure was a creative liberty that maybe the anime will do when it gets to them. They transform like Transformers and combine like mini Voltron or Power Rangers Mecha. It becomes the mysterious Paradox Pokemon seen in the Violet, which merges all three of them. But two can play that.
Yeah. Go back.
They transform like Transformers and combine like mini
Yeah.
Voltron or Power Rangers Mecha. It becomes the
Yeah.
mysterious Paradox Pokemon.
Yeah. Why wasn't this in the story? Why wasn't this in the game? They teased this ages ago before the DLC came out, and they never showed this. Like, why wasn't this in the game? I'm gonna be honest. The DLC was so bad. All right, the DLC was so bad. Like, come on. Like, how did you not? How was this not in the game at all? Or even like a freaking separate like storyline before the prologue with freaking I forget what it was, the freaking like berry the peach Pokemon. Like, why wasn't this in the freaking game? In the game, it's so stupid to me.
Which merges all three of them. But two can play at that game. The Proto-Beasts decide to give it a try too, and with a magical early evolution effect, they achieve nothing. Actually, they can't actually do that. They are biological.
Yep.
The Iron Swords charge at the Proto Trio.
But even
There's a shield, so the swords change their targets to walk away, defeating
Damn.
the Raging Bolt and or the Terrarium's Dome. Meanwhile, Coraidon and Roaring get into a tussle. Moon takes a punch and then uses frenzied gouging.
Damn.
Itself out in the process. And the Terrarium Dome also. Blood. Shrapnel from the dome.
Damn.
Swords separating and defeating them and causing Iron Crown check engine light to come on. Poor gouging fire cannot swim, but walking away can run on water and perhaps even perfectly float when they So we reach the final four and the ultimate showdown. Miraidon, Iron Bundle, Fluttermane, and Screamtail. I love this fight. We got Iron Bundle mouthing off the whole time, while Dodging Lightning has the fastest one here. Fluttermane tries to spook Screamtail, which backfires because screaming, which then messes with Miraidon and Bundle's sensors.
Damn.
More misses and more bad-mouthing. Bundle rockets up but accidentally runs into the invisible Fluttermane, then using its extendable neck, plays whack-a-mole with Miraidon, while Screamtail is avoiding Shadow Balls from Fluttermane. Screamtail then disables Fluttermane's Shadow Ball and encores it. A hilarious and terrible situation to be in.
That is hilarious though.
Dodges and then punches Iron Bundle.
Oh.
Sock'em Robot and zaps it.
Damn.
Electricity all the way up its neck.
I honestly,
All three of its opponents at
I'm going to be honest. With the final four, I honestly thought it was going to be a little bit of BS and like Miraidon was going to win. To be honest, I thought Ryan had them. To be honest, I thought they're gonna give it to the legendary, I'm kind of glad they didn't, to be honest.
And now, the big final attack. Everyone, all at once, prepares a move. Thankfully, Fluttermane's encore has ended. The attacks all come out, and... Wait, where's Fluttermane? Oh, it used Phantom Force! A move where it goes into another dimension to protect itself for a while, and then comes out for a big attack! It was safe from the 3 other attacks and finished off the game in the end! What a...
Oh my god, that actually makes so much sense.
So now comes the big why with all this. As always, it's not easy. Even though you could mathematically say these stats, types, and moves make X Pokemon the strongest of the bunch, that doesn't take into account their personalities and demeanors, which has a huge impact. It also doesn't take into account a Battle Royale setting, or stats and things working differently in a non-turn-based system. But as always, we don't just look at the games, the card game, the anime, and the manga. But in this case, Terminal and I have now caught up with these Battle Royales. There is not really much to go off with these Pokemon. The anime hasn't really reached them. They barely have cards, and there's only been one championship with them too. With all the trees, we often look at how the Pokemon stand in the competitive metagame, which we still did here for sure, absolutely. But limiting the battle to the Paradox Pokemon, it's difficult because there are so few of them.
Yeah.
Looking at their standing in the meta, it's always them versus all the other Pokemon, not just them versus other Paradox.
That's fair.
Fluttermane is super good in the metagame, which does contribute to why we showed a winning game. It is also one of the only 2 Paradox Pokemon used by the top 8 VGC finalists and above.
Fair enough.
In 6 out of the 8 teams. But one of the big reasons it's so good in the video game meta is because it's particularly good against other Pokemon common in the meta. So how does it do against other Paradox Pokemon?
That is so true, though.
Okay, I suppose. But there's less data on that, though Smogon does specify it's particularly good against Miraidon and Koraidon. Or sandwich.
Yeah, because of the fairy type.
Ghost Fairy! That is an extremely good type combination. Well, Fluttermane is one of the most threatening wall breakers in the universe, thanks to its incredibly powerful stab combination.
Yeah.
Unrivaled speed that is boosted further under Sun, good coverage options, and great.
Yeah. Fluttermane is just incredibly insane. I don't really play a lot of competitive anyway, but like, especially when we do raids, like the stab and the debuffs are insane with Fluttermane. Like a lot of people use Fluttermane for the raids, and like, yeah, I can see why, because Fluttermane is actually super decent. I haven't done it in a while. It might have changed now. I have no idea. But Fluttermane is like the OG, like the go-to sort of Pokemon for raids, and like I'm not even surprised it's in competitive, to be honest. Not at all.
Defensive typing. And on top of the meta, it's very trickstery in nature, mischievous, and being able to fly, go invisible, and float through walls, and being relatively small, it has a lot of inherent advantages.
And it's got a really cool shiny.
And then in the trading card game, its ability just straight
That's a beautiful full art, not gonna lie.
Like, what? How sneaky and powerful. It's no wonder that in the games it is uber tier, the highest, aside from those so stupidly good they're just blanket banned. And it's in this tier that we also find Miraidon and Iron Bundle. Miraidon too, but its perceived alpha cocky attitude most fighting types have, along with other disadvantages, leads it to not being in our final 4. I mean, dragon fighting, that is Fluttermane's dream opponent.
Yeah.
Not to mention, Koraidon's main damaging move in the meta, Flare Blitz, damages itself. Fine for one-on-one fights, but not very good for long-term survival in a battle royale situation.
At all.
Plus, compared to Koraidon, Miraidon has a lot more fan favor outside the meta, being an actual Bacchanal. It's no wonder it's in Pokemon Unite now, too. Plus, its electric typing would particularly help it against the other future paradoxes.
That is also true.
When looking at it from an anime or real battle lore perspective. But then, why did Miraidon not win? Well, in the meta, it's super good because of its particularly high speed and access to U-turn. But Iron Bundle is faster, and U-turn is useless in a free-for-all royale setting. But speaking of Bundle, it's Ice-Water type, the Ice being super effective against Miraidon's Dragon, though Miraidon the Electric is good against Bundle's Water.
Yep.
Bundle is faster, and depending on the builds, Bundle is known to one-hit KO Miraidon and Koraidon and more. Plus, in our chosen environment, a Blueberry Academy that floods, its typing gives it an advantage here too.
Yeah, it does.
I'm floating.
Plus, consider the rule of cool, or in its case, I guess the gilly of silly. Iron Bundle is very much the silliest Paradox Pokemon, giving it some comedic relief defense.
It's a very cool. I actually quite like Bundle's design.
All said, why is Screamtail in the top 4? Screamtail is NU to PU tier in the meta, never used or piddlingly used, aka perfectly useless, aka PU stinky. It's not particularly noteworthy in the metagame at all. For everything it does, there are other Pokemon that do it better, so nobody uses it in competitive teams, but it's here because of the context outside the game.
Okay.
Wigglypuff is already a particularly beefy poof due to lots of Smash Bros and anime shenanigans.
Yep.
Screamtail is even tougher. It's
Oh, yeah.
a billion-year-old squishy tank, and it's loud. Acoustic weapons are really just powerful speakers that send insanely loud and or high/low frequency sounds to take down drones and computer systems.
I get where he's coming from here.
Screamtail has the perfect counter to half of the combat.
That actually makes so much sense. Literally, Screamtails are literally just a massive MMP for all the especially all the futuristic Paradox Pokemon. It's literally just Screamtail is literally got a walking MMP Pokemon to all the futuristic Paradox Pokemon, because they're technically all robots. That's actually quite a cool. That's actually is very cool. Actually, I didn't even think of that. That's actually kind of awesome.
Combatants in the Battle Royale, boosting its survivability greatly. Specifically, a resonant sound at 140 decibels, which it can more than do, messes with gyroscopes, which would cause any drone or robot that uses them, which is most if not all, to suddenly become confused about which way is up, causing confusion and dizziness and missitude. That is a huge boon for our Pokemon.
That's a massive.
Iron Hands now. Iron Hands is that other Paradox used on the top 8 teams I mentioned. Used by
I thought that.
So why didn't it make it into the top 4? Well, its cards aren't particularly noteworthy. Amp you very much? Really? That's not even a pun. In the video games, Hands is a tank and a strong physical wall breaker.
Yeah.
Literally. It's very fitting of a sumo wrestler. It's good in the games because it happens to work as a good counter to other non-paradoxes. But in a battle of speedy finalists, it really hurts to be the slowest paradox. Especially in a more anime-esque royale setting.
Yeah.
Being fast, small, or high in the air means you can dodge. Hands is none of these things.
Yeah.
So what about the Proto Beasts and Iron Swords? Well, while their stat totals are significantly higher than the other paradoxes, there's not much going for them.
No, there's not.
None are particularly meta, and aside from a few being kind of big and heavy, none have things that help them much against the others. They are all slow compared to the final 4, are either a dragon type, which is a disadvantage here, or are psychic type, which is a bit of a disadvantage here. But also, those 3 are robots, which against Screamtail and Miraidon is a big disadvantage. So I think all in all, while you could argue any of these 4 could have won, which is why we decided to have the final climactic battle be between the 4 of them, I think I can stand by the idea that Fluttermane would win.
Yeah.
Especially because it can hide. You know, it's a really, really good killer.
Yeah, it's a good Pokemon.
But in this particular setting, its defenses are going invisible or hiding in another dimension. So, yeah, I'm confident in saying Fluttermane would win a Battle Royale. With these 3, and maybe the rest of them on this list,
literally.
some chance too. But hey, what was your favorite moment in the battle? Let me know down below, and if you want to know all of the deep lore more about all of the Paradox Pokemon, we already covered all of that in a series of videos. They are linked here now. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for more deep lore, Pokemon knowledge, facts, stuff, and never stop using your noggin.
That was a good video. I really enjoyed it. But anyway, that's the video, team. There's a link to be down in the description below. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate your face, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Adios. Have a good one. Bye-bye.